Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lena and I'm a reseller based in UK. I'm new to YouTube community, and this year I started a new side hustle as a mom, as a working mom, to create an extra source of income. So I resell items like this cute Peter Rabbit on marketplaces like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Vinted. In today's video, I wanted to share some tips and tricks when and how to list items on the platforms and why it matters so much, what has worked for me and what hasn't. Stay tuned, and if you're new here, hit like, subscribe. I'll be sharing my journey, how much I made, and what works for me in general. I have made over 20,000 reselling jewelry on Vinted in the last 3 years, and I wanted to go into a new venture and start reselling practically everything else that I can find. So follow me and I'll share my journey with you. So, what are the base days? Spoiler alert, weekends are never good. So, why are the weekends never good? Well, think about it. You work all week, or you work nights and you sleep days, and then weekend comes, or maybe you don't have the whole weekend, maybe you just have a Saturday off. You're gonna get some groceries in, you maybe go see your parents, maybe you go catch up with friends, maybe you've got a night out, maybe you've got a wedding to attend. All those things are happening on a weekend, and you're not there on your phone scrolling on eBay or Amazon or Vinted. You're probably cleaning your house or stuck at a football game if you're like a busy mom like me. You might be catching up on your personal emails. You might be getting a haircut. All those things typically happen on the weekend. People spend less time on their phones in the weekend if you have a typical 9 to 5, if your children are in school, and they're more likely to spend time with their loved ones and doing chores and runarounds and do clubs and other things. So listing on a weekend never worked for me, and sales don't really happen on the weekend unless it's really, really close to a holiday or unless they really, really need something. So what I do is I typically list on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and I list between sort of 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Even better if you list before 2 p.m. And that way, my item goes there, boom, and somebody's on the phone. So, I'm envisioning a mom or somebody who's just having a break. Maybe they're on lunch break and they're scrolling through phone, and boom, my item comes in. They want to buy it right away, or they want to make offer, they want to add it to their watch list. And that is across the board for eBay and Vinted. Majority of my sales happen on Vinted and Facebook Marketplace. And my audience are active around those times. So Friday, is so. Why Friday is not a go day for me? Because I might be busy myself. I might be preparing for weekend. I might be sourcing stuff. And the people might be doing the same. They might be just preparing for a busy weekend ahead, or they cleaning the house again, or they're cooking, or they're picking up kids, or from nurseries. Maybe their kids are not in nursery on Friday. Maybe they only work 4-day week, and Friday is their day off. And all those things. Maybe they're sleeping because they work nights, but mornings, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, always worked for me. I sell the most, and now I list the most as well. And it's no coincidence, because you're gonna list in those days and you're gonna boom, boom, boom. You're gonna be right in front of you. You're gonna be popping up. Now, something I want to talk in later videos is the following. I have about 4,200 people that follow me on Vinted, and I built that over the last 3 years, because I sold them something they liked. I was a newbie. I was listing my children's clothes and toys on Vinted. I had no idea that I could turn it into a solid, profitable business. And later down the road, I started to sell jewelry because I had a jewelry shop online, with its own website and its own Facebook page. And I thought, why not try on Vinted? So there's some things don't sell, so I'm going to try list them a little bit cheaper away from my online presence. And boom, I started selling jewelry that was left over from my shop, the stuff that was maybe out of season and I made a lot of money, precisely over 20,000 pounds in sales just doing that, reselling my children's toys and the jewelry from my jewelry shop. And then this year, I watched a couple of videos of resellers and I thought, why am I not going to get into it? I'm just going to sell everything. Jewelry only sells particular time of the month, of the year. People usually spend, it's a kind of expensive purchase. They don't shop for it all the time, every day of the week, every month of the year. So I decided to try and sell other things. So my idea is provide value to you. If if you want to resell, start reselling and make an additional income. And I also tell you why it was so important for me to have another source of income in some other videos. So hit subscribes, and I hope this video and my series provide a massive value to you. If you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're just starting out, if you lost your job, if you have a job but need additional income, you are going to get value here, and hopefully I'll motivate you to sell more, sell better, make higher profit. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm new here and I appreciate all the support that I can get. I'm a reseller, I'm a mom, wife based in the UK. I work full time and this is my side hustle. So, okay, maybe you're at work and maybe you can't list on Tuesday at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. What other days do you say, would you list? Same days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, try listing between 7 and 9 p.m. People are on their phones, they're just sitting there in front of TV, maybe they had dinner and they're at the table scrolling on their phone, maybe they are in a pub on a Thursday night catching up with mates. Especially for tradespeople, they typically go maybe to a pub to get dinner and they're bam on their phone at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock sometimes. And they see your item, and if it's Facebook Marketplace, they want to arrange a collection, they say I'll be there in half an hour. If you allow collections from your house, I do. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to make that extra cash. Why not? And other times you can what do you not do on weekends? So what do we do? So say you're a busy person, you work full time, you desperately need that extra money, but you just can't find the time. So your weekend is your only time. What can you do on a weekend to utilize that time, that you possibly have a little bit of free time between your clubs, if you're a mom, between your meal times, etc. What I do on a weekend, I source and I organize and I list. I sort of prepare my listings. So I take photographs. I do a bit of research on pricing, and I basically plan my listing for Tuesday. So I typically don't do anything on Mondays because I have work and my kids have clubs and things. So I take a day off on Monday. I might think about something, I might see something, I might do my own shopping on Monday. But on Tuesday, I'm ready to go. I've got my prices, I know what I'm listing for, I've got my stock, and I've got pictures, which are really important. What you might do if you want to work a little bit on Monday, take pictures, organize, get some storage, get some sort of sense into your, do research, put the summer items away if it's a winter, and concentrate on listing the winter, prioritize, you need the seasonal stuff. People typically buy, so say if it starts getting cold, people are going to go and buy jackets. So if you've got jackets, list jackets, go through your stuff on a weekend, see what you don't wear, what your kids don't wear, and you'll be surprised what people buy or don't buy. Anyway, these were my tips: when to sell, how to sell, and how to organize your week. If you found it valuable, please comment what works for you, what days you found the best. Test it out. The best thing forward is just grab them 10 items, organize them, see what you can get for them, search on Vinted or eBay, or just Google Lens an item and see what you can get for it. Make a list of prices and then get listing. Take pictures and get listing. Grab the descriptions of internet of somebody else selling the same item, just reword it a little bit in your own terms. If it's from a pet-free home or smoke-free foam, include that. If it's 100% authentic Barbie item, put that on the description. If it's something you used to wear for a wedding, make it, put a line there, perfect for a wedding or special occasion, etc. Would it make a good gift? Put it perfect Christmas present. We are in October, Christmas is coming, and I'm all about that. In the next video, I'll probably see you at a cardboard and I'll be shopping and sourcing for the busy Christmas season. See you in the next vlog. Thanks for watching.